Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. Today we're going to be taking our intake off. The car, if you caught the last video, was low on coolant, so I started messing around in there just seeing if I could find where the coolant was going. Fired up the car with the hood open. You don't hear this noise with the hood closed or in the car, but I noticed this. So you can hear it there, it's popping away. I don't know what it was, but it seems to be coming from the intake. So I'm gonna take it off, see if we can see anything in there and figure out what's going on. All right, so I didn't want the engine to be smoking hot, so I haven't really driven the car around today, just got her backed in here so I got a little room to work. But you could hear in the video that it is popping, and you hear it through the filter here on the intake. So I'm gonna take the filter off, just see if there's anything maybe loose in there. But from what I can hear and what I've read up online is it could possibly be the throttle body not working. And what I mean by that, let me just grab a light here, is your throttle body, if you don't know, is the little round thing right here. That's the electrical part of it anyway. And then your flap is in there to let the air into the engine. And to me, it sounds like possibly it's getting stuck. So instead of opening, maybe it's hitting something and that's where you get the clunk, clunk, clunk like that. That's one of the options. I did hear that mostly on the F-150s, but it is Ford, they do use a lot of the same parts. People say that the electrical part in here doesn't read properly and it kind of freaks out the system. I haven't got any codes or lights or anything on the dash or on the end gauge in the car, so it's not really affecting anything necessarily, but it is really rough when you start it up. It'll shake a little bit. Like I said once on the coolant video as well, once it's warm, the shake goes away. So that could be what was causing our issue. I did pull up to a stop sign once or twice now that it's done it. One of those times it kind of freaks out where it's at and the car is actually stalled. So like I said in the last video as well, sounds maybe like an air or a fuel issue. And obviously now that the intake is popping like that, I'm leaning towards air. Other way or other option, it could be a little bit more of a pain in the butt, is the fuel. I heard that on a few vehicles, not anything I could find on Mustangs, but same thing on the F-150s again, is that the injectors fail. Not all of them, but just one, and I guess instead of just spritzing it in like it does in the engine, it kind of backs up and then pukes a bunch in, and that same thing makes the little pop because it's more of an explosion that it should be, puking the gas into the engine. But that I would think would throw some sort of code on something. So hopefully it's not that. But what we're gonna do today, I'm just gonna take off the little gasket here from the intake to the actual throttle body. I'll fire the car up and see if I can see anything. It'll also be able to hear better if it's actually coming from the throttle body. And then it's just a matter of fixing it. All right, so the auto start won't work because the hood is open, like I said, so we'll jump in and start it up. Just a warning for anybody who might be doing this. If you have anything around your throttle body, a rag, a paper towel, a little twig, a stick, anything that might have blown on here, clean it up first because it's going straight into your engine and bye-bye engine. Just to know, don't fire it up with the intake off and anything around that hole because it will be gone quicker than you can grab it. But let's jump in. I'll start her up for a quick second and see what we can hear. Okay, headphone users beware. Let's fire this up for a quick second. Keep in mind, the thing is all disconnected. It might throw some lights, go wonky with the air, but we'll see what happens. soon as the intake is off, you can see it did throw the lights because, like I said, it's sucking in a crazy amount of air, so it freaks the car out. But once we plug it in, we can clear those. And she was making no noise, no ticking, no nothing. So now my question is it possibly tune related? Is it maybe sucking in too much air? Or not sucking in too much air, but not calibrated correctly. So I will throw this thing back together. Maybe we'll take her around the block and pop the hood open out there again and see how things sound. All right, so we got her all buttoned back together. Just took it around the block. We're at the park up the road from my house. You can see on here, all the lights went away right away. It didn't even pop up again once the intake was all hooked back up. It reads the air properly, erases everything, so we're good to go. And sitting here idling for a few minutes, I don't feel any shakes or anything like that, but we'll pop the hood and see if we still have the noise. There you have it, guys. It's not as bad as it was, but it's definitely still popping. So what I'm gonna do is data log on the way home and see if they can pick anything up on there. I'll email it over to Lund, because I'm thinking myself it's probably something to do with the tune, because you guys saw as soon as I took it off, it was getting way more air than it should, but there was no clicking or anything like that, unless the tube possibly picks it up and just amplifies it. Maybe it's deeper in there than I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Of course, when the engine's running, it's also loud, right? But I will data log just a normal cruise around, drive home, email them, see what they can say, if they pick anything up on the data log that I email them or anything like that. Otherwise, option 2, I'll put the stock airbox back on the car and I'll tune it back to normal. Put the stock tune back on the car, drive around and see if that makes any sort of difference. If it still pops, possibly with the stock box back on, throttle body maybe is off, or it could be a different issue. And if that's the case, I'll bring it into Ford. Worst case, they say it was tuned, not under warranty. Best case, they say don't worry about it, we'll fix it up and move along with our day. But that's all for this video. All I got for you guys. I don't have a solution as of yet. So stay tuned, subscribe if you want to see what's happening with the car later on, if I can figure it out. If you happen to know what it is, leave a comment. Much appreciated if you've had this issue and have got it fixed. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the little bit of a gong show of the couple episodes we had here, but pain in the butt, stuff happens. We'll get her fixed up and we'll keep on going. Thanks for watching, everybody.